President Tinubu appointed betrayers hoping they will be loyal to him, says Shehu Sani, a former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District. Shehu Sani has raised concern over President Bola Tinubu's ministerial nominees. Senator Sani, who took to his Twitter handle to criticize the list, noted that Tinubu appointed betrayers with the intention that they would be faithful, loyal, and honest to him. The political activist and social critic maintained that such betrayers will not serve Nigeria with all their strength, as betrayers would always be betrayers. He wrote on a post on his Twitter, and I quote, "The president appointed people who betrayed others and hoping that they will be faithful, loyal, and honest to him, and that they will serve Nigeria with all their strength. So help him God," he declared. Recall that Senate President Godswill Akpabio on Thursday afternoon read out the 28 ministerial nominees sent in by President Tinubu for screening at the National Assembly. Former governors of Ebonyi, Rivers, and Kaduna State, David Umahi, Yesom Wike, and Nasir El-Rufai, among others, made Tinubu's ministerial list. Wike went against his party, the People's Democratic Party (PDP), and its
From
candidate in
my
the
own
2023 presidential election
assessment
to support
is
Tinubu.
that
Video
the
shows
list
more
is
details.
more of an attempt to please or appease a certain political cluster, or to favor people for simply being simply have worked for him in office rather than their own capacity and competence. I can vouch for some of them. For example, the nominee from Bauchi State, Professor Patti, was a man who was capable, who has proven himself over the years to have excelled in the areas of health. But with the nomination which you have seen, the one that represented Kaduna State National El-Rufai, is a tragedy. That such a man is given an opportunity again to serve this country with all that he has done and all that he has said in office. And I don't think if President Tinubu mean well, it is not the best time to please and appease from our governors. It's the best time to appease the Nigerians and to bring in competent hands that will deliver. As far as I'm concerned, that list, to some large extent, is a big disappointment. It is none that has been able to meet the expectation of taking the time which it has taken for those names to come out. So I think the best thing for the president to do at this time, he should know that the 8 years of this last administration was a complete waste, and that this is an opportunity for him to prove that he has the vision, the competence, and the capacity to lead this country to a higher level than the way he had met it. But with the kind of people whom he has now brought in close to him, I think there is going to be a problem. For what I know is that there are people who were brought in because they betrayed their party and betrayed their principle, and now this is the time to compensate them. And that should not be with a serious national position like this. And I thought the president, being a man that has a history of bringing the best to preside over affairs of governance, as he was able to do in Lagos State, many people were expecting that that should be the case in the country, but to a large extent it is not.
If you allow me, you have also tweeted specifically, quote, "The president appointed people who betrayed others and hoping that they will be faithful, loyal, and honest to him, and they will serve Nigeria with all their strength." So looking at the list categorically speaking, it's a list of well-known Nigerians. So there's hardly anyone who's not been tried before. So what do you mean when you talk about betrayed others?
Well, I've seen people who are not from his own political party, but they have always been applauded and praised for betraying their party, and now their 30 pieces of silver is the appointment they have in the office of the ministerial office. Specifically, I'm more concerned about the one that comes from Kaduna State. Nasir El-Rufai has been a man who had served Obasanjo and stabbed him in the back. He also was the one who claimed to be a loyal to Buhari and served him when he was out of office. I believe that that will also happen to Tinubu when things go the other way. And secondly, bringing such a person into government, what I know that he is going to be a seed of discord between the president and the vice president. He's also going to plant a seed of discord between the president and cabinet members. He's also going to be the source of crisis between the president and people who are outside his cabinet. And this should be marked, this should be bookmarked, this should be kept. It is going to happen. So for also a person who has presided over the affairs of Kaduna State with such bigotry, religious iniquity and injustice against people who are not from his faith, I don't think that person deserves a place in anywhere in government in Nigeria. That is for that. And generally, I will say that as far as the president is concerned, when it comes to the issue of getting things right in Nigeria, and he must ensure that whoever is going to be there, first of all, has the vision, the capacity, the competence, and the general acceptability on the side of Nigerians. And this is a key, knowing where we come from. We come from a past where the president has appointed people who served for 8 years and delivered nothing, and he was unable to remove them because he felt they should be appeased because they supported him in office. And I think if Tinubu tried to lay the foundation of his government on this thinking, certainly it's going to fail like the way Buhari failed.
You know, speaking of a man many would say well known to you and by you, and also from your home state of Kaduna, and you're already giving some kind of doomsday prediction that he would be a cog in the wheel of progress of the Tinubu administration. Specifically, some will say this is about some bad blood you've had, politically speaking, with the former governor of your state.
Well, he has always spoken bad about me, and I also speak my own mind about him. But I have my own very proofs. Was he not a minister under Obasanjo administration? What happened between Obasanjo and Atiku? Was he not a minister at that very time? What happened? So it's going to be the same thing. If you see any discord between President Tinubu and Shetima, it's going to be the same person that will plant that discord. If you see any discord between the president and his members of the cabinet, it's going to be the same person. If you see any discord between the president and the state governors, he's still going to be the same person. He has that history and that track record. And I'm saying this is not a prophecy, but it's a proven fact that has happened. So, and a leopard never changes his skin. So for that, I'm saying they have brought in a serpent in their government, and they are going to pay a price for it. He has no permanent loyalty. He is a man who, fair weather person who is going to be with you. The same person who has sung the praises of Obasanjo. When Obasanjo was out of power, he turned against him. The same person who for 8 years has been singing the praises of Buhari. The moment Buhari was out of power, he simply abandoned him. So it's going to happen with Tinubu. But I know that as far as President Tinubu is concerned, he has been an old horse in the struggle and been in trenches. Perhaps it's going to be his own time to have his own share of the venom of the same person I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about him because of what is happening between me and him over the years, but I have my proven facts, and they will come to see. He is not going to, whatever ministry you kept him, is not going to stay there. He's going to prognose into the activities of all others and also try to get the ears of the president and sow the seed of discord. If you see any problem between Kashmir Shetima and Tinubu, it's going to be the same person that will plant it. And mark this word, if you see any problem between Tinubu and any other person in the cabinet, it's going to be the same person. He has that history. So I am not saying it because of my own view, but the history has always been there for anybody to see. So to me, all I will say is to President Tinubu, whoever you appoint to office, let it not be like the Buhari administration where you are appointed into office and given a certificate of 8 years. If a person failed to live
Well,
up to expectation, do not waste time.